Well, the show is about Jack, a guy down on his luck, philosophy professor that just basically makes a smattering of his own life and has to find himself again. So he has to go back to Toledo, where he's from, and the only job he can get is teaching AP biology at a high school. And it's about him through that feeling like he's at his lowest low, just rediscovering himself and the life that he feel like he didn't want, which I feel like it's gonna turn around that he did. So how we're introduced to Jack is he's just a hot mess when he comes out. He's in, sweatpants and his, hair is all messed up and he just doesn't care about anything. His job, these kids, AP biology is not something that he wants to teach. He trashes the classroom with all of his apples that he throws everywhere. So that's how we get a peek at this guy is that he's, just kind of sloppy and, just doesn't care initially. Yes, so Jack's motivation is to, basically use these kids to get back at Miles Leonard, his arch nemesis, who, is this, renowned, also a writer and has these books published, and this is kind of the world Jack's want in on. So he's gonna use through social media and prank stuff and all these things to try to get back at his nemesis, and it never works. Or at least as far as I know, he's never succeeded in doing anything going wrong for Miles. Yeah, well, my character, her name is Steph Duncan, and Miss Steph is the history teacher, and she's awesome. Like, I feel like Steph is very much just like, I feel like a heightened version of myself. From the audition and everything else, right away, I was like, I love her. I hope I get to play this woman. But she's fun. She, at one point, was described as one shade of lipstick always away from the after spot after school or the bar going out with her girls, the other teachers. So yeah, Steph is very fun and kind of bubbly, vivacious, and just like a little bit of a firecracker. Oh, well, the other two teachers are her best friends on the show. Her and Mary and Michelle, they kind of are, I like to say three, what are they like, the three muses are like, the little Greek chorus. They're always together, doing everything together, involved in something together. They have lunch together every day. They go out to the bar together all the time. So they're best friends, definitely. Well, initially how they work with Jack is that he comes in and he's kind of this thing that kind of crash landed, I feel like, into their school and their lives. And I feel like initially it's almost like they have to deal with, like, he's like a baby. They're like, who left their baby that we've got to clean up in the school? But then over time, their relationship evolves and they, kind of grow to be fond of him and to kind of look out for him and have his back. And they are also interested in his interests as time goes on versus seeing him as this thing that kind of happened to them. I think what stood out to me the most initially from the pilot script was that I just felt like everybody was a real person in the script, like from these teachers to the students and even Jack, and like every character to me felt fleshed out and like funny in an authentic way. Like it wasn't going for a hard joke or anything like that. Like I just felt like it was probably one of the first times in a while that I was like, oh, these are just people that I would love to see on TV. Working with these producers, I will not lie, and it's probably be a fan out moment. It's incredible. Like I feel like I literally am still like, even at the table reads like, what? What? Like, and everyone is so nice. And it's just I feel like we got really lucky that we came into like such just a squishy, like warm environment. And I think that, especially for a show, I feel like that vibe comes from the top. And I feel like they set that they are awesome. Like, yeah, it's been very much a dream boat to be able to work with these people. Well, first of all, you have got to watch it. It's, to me, one of the realer teacher comedies out on television right now. It's funny, it's real, it's raw, it's a little racy, which I appreciate. And I think that, hey, it's about time that we see what kids are actually talking about. But I would say it's about this guy who, his career blows up in his face. And like many of us do that are human, okay, he reacts very badly. And he has to pay for them. He pays for it, he has to go back home and pick his life up. But it's fun, the pieces that he thought were little turd pieces actually turn out to be great. You get this new life with these kids that He didn't want to teach. And these women that, you know, to be friends with them, and now Ohio's a second home to him. And so I think it's a fun picking back up the pieces story. Yes, as it progresses for the show, we definitely are like a little unit. Like we take up for each other, and we're trying to work together to make sure, like, you know, his class review goes well. For each of our individual classes, he wants to go on dates. We try to set him up on dates. We give him advice for how to date Toledo women, what we like. Okay, we like a, you know, a man, Jack. Okay, so put down the green juice. So yeah, over time it goes from the judgment to let us help you out. Even with Principal Durbin and Helen, like, we all are like a little family unit. Oh God, Principal Durbin is like just so loving. He's like this, he's the guy who like can't be authoritative at all, but is trying his hardest and like, but like also really doesn't need to stand up for himself deeply, but is trying to and is trying to like rein in all these teachers who are wild. And then he gets Jack, who is, I'm sure, the most unruly thing he's ever had to deal with. And he's just trying his best, but he's the sweetest, like, sweet.